Okay, this might be one of my most awkward filming setups yet, but I recently finished my Expand Those Pan shades and I wanted to go ahead and refresh, bring in some more, so here we go. If you're new to my channel, my name is Alyssa and I like to do panning content with my makeup, working through all of my eyeshadows, pairing things together in fun ways. So if that sounds good, maybe you'll subscribe and hopefully you enjoy this video today. So Expand Those Pans is a project brought to us by Dora, who is Fuchsia Soul here on YouTube. And the way I do it, but she does it, I think the same way. I don't know, I watch her videos, but I'm trying to think. I've just been doing it this way for the whole time, so I assume I got it directly from her. Anyway, 3 shades are randomly rolled in that already have pan in them. Then I use them for 10 times each to expand those pans, and I come here and show you the before and after of each. So I am looking at what I had. Okay, so it actually took me a little bit, although you might not realize it because I had pre-filmed some content, but I have been working on these 3 shades for over a month because I was gone for about half a month and did not bring any of them with me when I was gone. Just because, well, one of them I could have, it was a single, but I didn't have room in the little palettes that I made, and you know, it's fine. So the first one I rolled in was actually the last one to get used up, and it makes sense. It's a dark green eyeshadow, and well, it's not super dark, but it's medium dark, I guess. For me, green is not a favorite eyeshadow, but what was fun is that it was a really tiny pan when I first had rolled it in. So I knew that any uses, it was going to go from hardly able to see to able to see very well, which I'm putting the pictures up, I'm sure, and so you can see the before and after. Then the second shade that I brought in is one that's in my Pan That palette. I kind of hemmed and hawed a bit on should I count it for this, but I had already decided if any of my eyeshadows from that palette work out well for other projects like this one, then I'm going to go ahead and bring them in, because that's the whole point, is that I want to pan that palette. So I'm not going to be able to pan it if I'm just not using it. And this shade already had a good size pan. You can see I actually got some good side pan as well, and I'm still continuing to use it just to, you know, keep trying to do the pan. But the picture I have is after the 10 uses. So then the final shade was Paradiso, which is a ColourPop shadow, and I've had it for, I think this summer it will make it 6 years old. So, you know, it's about 5.5 then. I would like to finish it ideally. It is a favorite, which is funny because it's not anything especially remarkable. It's a satin, so it's not super sparkly. It's not a matte shadow, but it's just a really good base shadow, and it's in a color I love because it works with pink or purple, which I love wearing, and it's just, you can use it and then put one of those kinds of shimmers with it, and it's a nice easy 2 shadow kind of look. So yeah, it's just very functional and great for me. So I would like to finish it, but I don't necessarily need a lot. It goes, you know, it's very pigmented, goes on well. So yeah, we'll see. But I did definitely expand the pan. This was the easiest for me to roll out. Actually easier even than that lid setting shade, which is funny. I did weigh this one because it's a single. So it was 3 1900 grams to start, and now it is 3 1/10 grams. So I will be continuing to use it, although not in this project at this time. I rolled in new shades, which let's go ahead and talk about. So surprise, surprise, I got that same Ulta palette rolled in again. And the shade is actually probably my least favorite, I'd say, of the whole palette. I know it has a big pan, but that's basically because it had crumbled and I just kind of lost a lot of well, not a lot, but a decent amount of the product with that. And anytime I use it, it's just very crumbly. But it's this, it looks prettier in the swatch than it does when I use it. It just kind of looks dirty almost when I use it on my eyes, I feel like. And also I think because it's crumbly, then the fallout and it's dark and gray and just, I don't need that on my under eyes. I already have that naturally. So, but yeah, so that's the first one rolled in. And then the next one that I got is a pigment, which last year I'd also rolled in a pigment, and it was one of those where I had to decide, do I want to do a loose pigment for this? Because I can't really expand a pan, but I figure I can do the weight and see the difference there. So this is my NYX pigment, and it's pretty. It's got a little bit of a shift going on between like a green and gold. It is right now 14 and 5,500 grams, so we shall see how much it weighs after 10 uses. And then finally, I got a single eyeshadow rolled in. It's called Centerfold. It's from that same ColourPop order, so it's kind of similar almost to, yeah, when I'm thinking back to my last set of 3 that I had, one of those old ColourPop shades, and it's also a favorite from there that I had a shadow from the Ulta, and then I had a green, so there we go. Because it's a single, I was able to weigh it, so currently it is 3 and 6,500 grams. So again, I will let you know in the 10 uses, you know, I'll show you pictures and I'll also give the weight. This shade, it's almost like a neon orange. I mean, it's not a neon, but it almost comes off that way. And what's funny is I initially had picked this eyeshadow out, you know, years before I knew it was recommended by Jay Kissa, who I don't even know if she posts still on here because I stopped following her because it was a whole thing with some of the YouTubers and everything. So, but yeah, I had gotten it on her recommendation, and then what was funny was she had talked about in some video later and was kind of like, oh, this shadow is really nice, and it's like, you already said this was a favorite, and she'd completely forgotten, I guess. So I just, you know, I guess when you have that much makeup, it's easier to forget about your favorites. I don't know, makes it seem like it's not really a favorite then, but I have really liked it, so you know what, I'm glad that at one point she had said it was a favorite. That was a whole lot of talking just to go over this, but hopefully you like seeing the before and afters, and you know, I'm working in the weights as it's relevant. So thank you for watching. Until my next video, I hope you'll be doing well, and I will see you then. Bye.